President Biden to make his economic case for 2024 in first speech since launching re-election bid. Well, Joe, lunch pail Joe. What do we say here? We don't get into politics too much. I did that for 10, 15 years, and it's a slog. And you realize that it's not red versus blue; it's state versus you. It's collectivism versus individualism. It's the sovereign individual. The book that was written in the mid to late 90s that is spot on. The government, as they predicted, would use the same tactics they used on Osama bin Laden on its own people, which we're seeing now, not even 20 years later. So, Joe, what are we going to do? We've done a number of things over the years here. We do it all the time. We talk about the inflation. We talk about all the insane things going on, the bank collapses. So you're going to focus on the economy and all the great things. What are you talking about? When you, in your ilk, the Build Back Better trope, which is ironically just a bunch of other global leaders have the same the same slogan. It's almost like you planned it. So when your cabal decided to lock down the entire planet, what coronavirus or not, whatever's going on, I don't care if it's a climate lockdown, whatever, locking down the planet is never a good idea. That will go down as the dumbest thing to ever happen, which, Trump was part of that. Trump is part of that and has to own that. If Trump thinks he's going to win going forward, he's going to have to own the lockdowns and being somewhat complicit in that, the Anthony Fauci stuff, not firing him sooner, and the shot in general. And he's going to have to own that. Now, does Biden, the small-time Biden criminal family, have many more problems? Yes, they do. However, he's the incumbent, and he has the media at his back, right? He has all of academia, all the media, and much of the deep state is behind this re-election campaign for Biden, the harvesting of ballots, whatever you want to call it. So this is hilarious on surface. As Nolan Bowerly says, thinking of this man as the leader of the free world. When you get into the Bitcoin world, though, and again, it's a sound money world. I say Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the answer to fixing the money and to fix the world. But you realize, again, you have to zoom out to 100,000 feet. You realize that this political shenanigans is not going to fix anything. Trump throwing fire bombs, Biden who can't, he's shuffling around, can't walk anywhere, unfortunately, at a human level is very sad. And his handlers, his family pushing him into this role, it really is sad. It's quite sad. So, seeing this and seeing these two guys that are almost certainly going to be facing each other since he's reelecting. We'll see, if he makes it, God willing, he makes it to the election. I've said for a long time from Jump Street, Michelle Obama is the person I would watch for years, for 10 years or whatever. I thought she was going to run in 2016. She's the person that the world would just melt down if she was running for president, and it would be amazing to see her versus Trump. But Biden, this is clown world. I mean, the fact that there's people that still defending him, just like the whole aura of what he brings, which I don't know what he even brings, is mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. It shows the broken brain disease, the BBD. A lot of people got a bad case of BBD in this country, in this world. And it makes sense in a way, right? The propaganda being spilled and shilled all over every single day by your own taxes that you pay, your own tax money that's literally extracted from you, stolen from you, and taken from you, and then sprinkled into every propaganda outlet and media and government agency in the world, building more agencies. Like we talked about the other day, the Department of Homeland Security has 240,000 people. 20 years ago, it didn't exist. So you're telling me that we went for 200 years, things were good. I don't know. They're fine. Became the biggest superpower on earth. But yet over the last 20 years, we needed to all of a sudden have 240,000 people in this newly created. And this is not the only one. This is just the one example I have of many other agencies, which we're going to have an expose on all the agencies coming in the future here on the blog. We'll probably share it here on YouTube and stuff and Rumble in the video format. But this is the clown world we live in, where you're telling me a sane adult can make the argument and say, well, yeah, we need 240,000 people, Brandon. We need those people all of a sudden out of nowhere, just out of thin air. Life just changed like that. Did it? Did life just change on a dime because people decided to may or may not have gotten in planes and flown into the World Trade Centers and stuff? That life just changed because of that, apparently. I think life was the same. Life is the same. I can't think, well, life's changed. Life's just, never going to be the same after this. Life's always changing. I mean, what are we doing at the end of the day? Life is always changing. But people just doing random stuff, it only changed because we decided to, we're going to have TSA and then do body cavity searches before we get on planes now. That's why it changed. But yet the people that are pushing that propaganda, it's never going to be the same after this. It's never going to be the same. They're the ones you have to be the most afraid of because they're the ones who want the new change. They want the one world government apparatus where they're getting to do whatever they want and emergency powers. This is what this man has done. The disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, a la Vietnam style withdrawal. We have just an insane amount of debt, just expanding the debt at record paces, massive inflation. Again, Trump has to own some of that. The packages that came out, the stimulus checks, and then Biden doubling down on that once he came into office. This is the clown world we have. So what are we left with at the end of the day? And again, at the end of the day, I think Trump is a million times better candidate than Biden. DeSantis would be smart to not get in, run in 2028, and then let Trump do his thing. He's going to have to harvest ballots. He's going to have to do all kinds of crazy stuff to combat. You're going to have to fight fire with fire to combat the apparatus, the one world order, one world government that is in place. Because people, conservative-minded or liberty-minded people, and there's some people on the left that have the liberty mindset, and they're coming over and they're starting to move. They're realizing the Democrat Party is controlled by this one world government, this collectivist government mentality where they do anything just to make people mad and polarize people, divide people, just like the credit score thing we just talked about the other day. The credit scores that just came out, they announced, Biden announces the credit scores. People are going to, with terrible credit scores, are going to pay less, as in the people that are paying, it's just straight socialism, but the whole point is to make people mad. The whole point is to make people mad, make the producers fall into the consumer category and just quit, and the government gets to swoop in and say, yes, here we are. And, Biden even said, here's the 4 years to start where we finished, and or to finish what we started, which is the collapse of America. And it's John Kerry 4 years ago saying to Klaus Schwab, saying to the World Economic Forum, I think you're going to be blinded by the speed at which we acquiesce, basically, reading between the lines, acquiesce and fall into the New World Order, United Nations, World Economic Forum, the Royal Institute, their plans for what's going on. And again, guys, this is not me just like making these things up out of midair. Go read all the books. Naked Communist, the Communist Manifesto, the Capitalist Manifesto, Collapse by Jared Diamond, the Conspirators' Hierarchy. Go read these books by these people that are way smarter than I am. So Biden's going to go run. He's going to tell us, how amazing he is and how he's given us 15% inflation over the last few years. And again, you can believe the government numbers if you want, but I believe the numbers of how we used to count them before we started messing with them. So we have 15% inflation. People can't rub two nickels together, can't find $1,000 to, which, they couldn't 5 years ago either, but only gotten worse. Biden's done nothing but exacerbate all of that over the last handful of years, exacerbate division, exacerbate our standing around the world of decline. The BRICS, the dollar reserve currency, which in 50 years, has been, slowly in decline, but it totally accelerated that. Now every country in the world seemingly is getting together to join up and remove themselves from the dollar standard because the Ukraine debacle in and of itself, all the Hunter things going on. I mean, just laughable thing after laughable thing. And yet people still, to this day, and again, show me your friends, I'll show you what kind of person you are. This is why the media defends, because they want criminality. The deep state wants criminality. The media wants criminality because then they can get theirs. This is how the money perpetuates this brokenness in the military-industrial complex. You get to break things, and you get to then sprinkle it wherever you want. If you have a system of merit and accountability and responsibility, then you don't get to live high on the hog. You have to actually put in work. You actually have to do things. That's why I love Bitcoin. That's why I talk about Bitcoin all the time, because I want merit. I come from a place of professional hockey where I worked my butt off and I work for what I get. I have to go put in the work. I don't just get to show up, throw my stick on the ice and like, cool, throw the C on my jersey. Sweet, give me a contract because I just showed up today. No, you have to show up and show out. You actually have to put in work. So we're at a time that try and mend souls. Are we going to choose the way of freedom and accountability and responsibility and merit and Bitcoin? The Trumpian platform, I guess, is that right now. But many Bitcoiners will say, don't even worry about that. I still disagree. I think you have to be very involved in politics. I think the most important thing is local. All politics is local. So if you in your local PTA, your local cities, mayoral races and state, that's going to make a bigger impact actually than Trump and Biden and all this. That's why I think this is a clown world. I think it's hilarious. You need to be plugged into the federal, but we've centralized so many things and just focus at the top. We have to get down to the bottom level and realize it's bottom up. We have to do that. So it's just laughable. I had to mention, just do a quick video on the hilarity that he's going to run again. I mean, this is, I don't know why they would, other than they just think he's a good pawn, a good puppet. I think it's Obama in the background. If I had to take a real educated guess, I think it's Obama in the background. This is really a second, third, and fourth term of Obama, and then they're hoping maybe Michelle can run in a cycle or two. That's it, and they get you get 20 years of Obama, and he even joked about it, right? Like, oh, I should run for a few more terms. I mean, this is the FDR playbook over and over again. And they're just being more sly about it. So you have a puppet, a literal puppet in power, and you get to have the Obamas in the background doing whatever they want. So buckle up, boys and girls. Fix the money, fix the world. We don't, as Bitcoiners, we can live in a separate world, and we do. Creating the new world and forcing the change. We are the change. We are the government at the end of the day. They work for us, so we can't force a change. People that say, "Oh, you can't," they're never going to let us do that. Bitcoin. What are you talking about? We are the change. We get to decide what actually happens. Newsflash. So I appreciate you. Please share this out. All the videos, a signal within the noise. This is not freedom or financial advice. It's freedom advice. Question everything with boldness. Don't trust everything I say. Verify. Go verify. Do your own research. And please share this out, though. And question everything. Please question everything with boldness. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. And please put your comments in here as to what you think is going to happen in this clown world of politics we live in. Remember, it's not red versus blue. It's the state versus you. See you on the next one. Oh, and a great book. Go read The Sovereign Individual. Go read The Sovereign Individual and go read The Fourth Turning. Please go read those books. Everything will start to make sense. Go read The Naked Communist. Go read The Conspirator's Hierarchy. Go read a bunch of these books. Please go read these books. Everything will start to make sense as you put the correct lenses on. The collectivist, Fabianist lens, and life will start to make sense for you. I appreciate you. See you on the next one.